Can anyone really start a paint manufacturing business anywhere in the world? What if I told you one of the biggest manufacturing opportunity in the world isn't making cars or building smartphones or owning a $1 billion factory? It is something almost every person sees every single day: paint. Now, here's a surprising part. Most people believe you need millions of dollars, a huge factory, years of chemical experience, or any engineering degree before you can become a paint manufacturer. That's one of the biggest misconception in this industry because every day people around the world are building successful paint manufacturing business, starting much smaller than you might imagine. Whether you're watching from Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Malawi, South Africa, India, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, or anywhere else. The opportunity exists. Why? Because every country builds every new houses, every school, every hospital, every office, every hotel, every shopping mall, every warehouse needs paint. Construction creates demand. Maintenance creates demand. Renovation also creates demand. As long as people continue building, paint will continue to be needed. Which brings us to an important question. Is the paint manufacturing business profitable? The answer is simply yes, very profitable when it is built the right way. Not because every manufacturer become rich overnight, but because paint is a repeated demand product. Buildings are constantly constructed, maintained, and repainted. That creates continuous opportunity for manufacturers who understand the business. So maybe the better question isn't, can I start a paint manufacturing business? The real question is, how do I build one successfully? And that's exactly what you will discover in this documentary. So, if paint manufacturing is so profitable, why do some factories succeed while others fail? If you have searched online before, you have probably seen videos promising one secret formula, one recipe, copy this formulation and start making money. But here is what many beginners discover too late. Paint manufacturing isn't just about mixing chemical. If it were, everyone with a formula would own a successful paint company, but they don't. Some factories invest huge amounts of money, yet eventually close. Others begin with modest resources and become respected manufacturer. Why? Because successful manufacturers understand something many beginners never learn. They understand system, not just formula. That is why I teach what I call the global paint manufacturing principle. Paint manufacturing is global because paint is produced in almost every country. Production systems are universal. Mixing, dispensing, quality control, costing, production workflow, these principles remain the same almost everywhere, but implementation is local. So when I'm talking about the implementation being local or the word being local simply means where you are operating. If you are in Uganda, so that local carries that's your country. If you're in Nigeria, the local means you're operating locally in your country. You understand? So your suppliers are local based on your country. Your regulation are local based on your country, wherever you are in the world. Your market is local based on your market research in your country. Your customers are local or international. That is to say, you could get customers from other countries around, that's your neighboring countries, or even far than your country. And manufacturers who combine global knowledge with local implementation build businesses that last. This documentary is the first episode of our complete paint manufacturing business global setup series. Every episode answer one important question. Can anyone start paint? What paint should you manufacture first? How much money do you need? And how do manufacturers produce quality paint? How do paint companies actually make money? How do they build brands? How do they grow? If you're serious about becoming a paint manufacturer, watch every episode in order because each lesson builds on the previous one. Now, you might be wondering who is teaching all this? Hello, I am Coach Glina. Welcome to Glina Paint Education. For over 10 years, we have helped entrepreneurs from different countries understand paint manufacturing and take practical steps towards building their own paint business. On this YouTube channel, we teach you how to start a paint manufacturing business, understand professional production system, master paint chemistry, choose the right raw materials, improve product quality, and build product customer trust. Also grow profitably manufacturing business. Because here at Glina Paint Education, we don't simply teach people how to make paint. We teach entrepreneurs how to think like manufacturer, learn, understand, manufacture, and succeed. Many beginners think paint manufacturing is simply producing buckets of paint. It isn't. It is about solving problem. Paint protects building, paint prevents surfaces, paint waterproofs wall, paint prevents corrosion, paint reflects heat, paint even improves appearances of a building. Paint extend the life of a building. That is why paint is needed almost everywhere, not once but repeated. Because building eventually requires maintenance. That creates ongoing demand of paint. Imagine two entrepreneurs. The first spend millions building a beautiful factory. The second starts much smaller. But before spending money, they study their market, understand customer demand, choose the right product, build simple system, and focus on quality. 5 years later, the second entrepreneur often builds the strong business, not because they started big, but because they started smarter. Think of building a hospital. Buying expensive medical equipment doesn't automatically create a good hospital. You must need trained doctors, system, procedures, patient care. Paint manufacturing works exactly the same way. Machine alone don't create successful factories. System do. Professional paint manufacturer don't ask, what formula should I copy? They ask, what problem does my market need solved? They don't ask, what machine should I buy? Rather, they ask, what product are customers already buying? That single shift in thinking changes everything. One mistake I see repeatedly often is that people spend months collecting paint formulation, downloading PDF, watching short videos, copying recipe, thinking if I can just find the perfect formula, I'll be ready. But formula don't teach you how to choose products, how to understand customers, or how to calculate production costs. Also, how to price product, how to build a factory, or how to grow a paint manufacturing business. That is why some people know hundreds of formulation yet never become paint manufacturers. The problem isn't a lack of formula. The problem is a lack of system. If there is one lesson I want you to remember today, it is this. Successful paint manufacturers understand their market before their machine, customers, or before chemicals, system, before formula. That is what separates paint manufacturers from mixers. If you're thinking about starting a paint manufacturing business wherever you are in the world, don't let the size of your current budget stop you. Start by building knowledge first because knowledge helps you understand expensive, or rather, knowledge helps you avoid expensive mistake. The right understanding saves more money than buying the wrong equipment. Professional paint manufacturer don't chase shortcut. They build system, they study their market, they improve continuously, they reinvest profit, they grow one stage at a time. That is how sustainable manufacturing companies are built. One of my greatest joy has been seeing entrepreneurs from different countries learning together. Some are beginners, some already own a factory, some are painters, some are contractors from different countries, different backgrounds, one manufacturing mindset, learning together, growing together, building better business together. If you are serious about becoming a better manufacturer, consider joining our YouTube channel membership. Inside, we go beyond what we can cover in the public video. We discuss production system, quality control, raw materials, factory planning, troubleshooting, and remanufacturing challenge. We also give out different types of paint formulation with the step-by-step production process and the measurement, and of course, well-detailed explanation on how to go about producing the different types of paint. If your goal isn't simply learning about paint, but building your own paint manufacturing business. The paint manufacturing business course was designed for you. Inside the PMB course, you will learn how to understand your local market, choose the right product, plan your factory, source for raw materials in your country, produce quality paint, price your product, build your brand, and grow a profitable paint manufacturing business in your own country. Now, I don't want this video to be too long. Remember, it's a paint manufacturing business global startup series on how to start your own successful paint manufacturing business wherever you are in the world. So this video documentary is going to be in different series, and that is why you need to go and watch the complete documentary in the playlist, like I mentioned earlier on in the beginning of the video. So now we have answered one important question. Yes, you can start a paint manufacturing business almost anywhere in the world. But another question immediately appears. What exactly is the paint manufacturing business? Is it simply mixing paint? Or is there much more happening behind every successful factory? That's exactly what we'll explore in episode 2. I would love to hear from you. Which country are you watching from? And what's the biggest reason you have not started your paint manufacturing business yet? Is it capital, raw materials, lack of knowledge, factory setup, or something else? Tell me in the comment section. Remember, paint manufacturing isn't just about making paint. It's about understanding your market, building reliable system, creating product people trust, and growing a business that serves people for years to come. Because here at Glina Paint Education, we don't just teach people how to make paint. We teach entrepreneurs how to think like manufacturers. So until we meet again, keep learning, understanding, manufacturing, and succeed. Paint manufacturing is local, the system is global.